She also brought out a book called Outwitting the Devil, which is a very powerful book about how the devil thinks. And so we had a great event. It seems like they've almost shut Dallas down, so we had the whole hotel to ourselves. It was real nice. So I don't think you guys are coming tonight. My name is Coach Michael Burt. How many of you seen me speak before somewhere along the way? Some of you. Some of you saw me in Phoenix, and you were asking me, who was that other person? I had 2 people up there because I've lost 30 pounds since you saw me in Phoenix. It's actually 2 Coach Burts speaking in Phoenix, right? Now I'm just one little skinny Coach Burt. This is my beautiful wife, Natalie, and so y'all just give her a hand just for being my... And if you don't know, my wife, Natalie, wrote a book called Living with a Monster. And you think, well, what is that? Is he all tough? My coaching program is called Monster Producer. And it's about how you become a legendary person in the world and do big things, because I found a definition once of a monster that says a monster producer is a legendary creature. And I thought, boom, that's it. How many of you want to be legendary? Raise your hand. Okay. And so many years later, I spoke at 10X, which was 10,000 people at Mandalay Bay. And I got all excited, and I was all jacked up after I spoke, and we're sitting there having dinner, and I put on Facebook, congratulations to my beautiful wife for writing her first book called Living with a Monster. Now, here's the deal. She didn't know she was going to write that book. I just volunteered her on Facebook. Okay? Now, and she's getting all these likes, and people are like, congratulations on your first book, and I'm so proud of you. And we're sitting at dinner, and she's seeing all this. She's like, what? She's like, did you just volunteer me to write a book? And I said, I sure did. Because you can. And I made this statement to her. I said, at some point, our desire in life to help people has got to overcome our desire to be comfortable. Our desire to help as many people as we can on planet Earth has got to overcome any fear, any insecurity, any doubt, any vacillation, right? And this book is going to help a lot of people. Okay, live with a monster like me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna bring Natalie up in just a second and let her talk a little bit, and we're going to kind of be talking tonight. But I believe there's a direct correlation between health and wealth. How many of you guys believe that? Yes. Okay, and for many of you that don't know, I was a high school women's basketball coach for a decade of my life. That's why you see the big gaudy championship ring on my right hand. I wear it as a reminder of working 80 hours a week for a decade, coaching 14 to 18-year-olds. I used to tell people I used to work 8 hours a day on Sunday. I would get up and go to church on Sunday morning, and then I'd go straight to my office. And these young ladies would come into me, 14 years old, and they had some knowledge, some skill, some desire, and some confidence. And we would put them, and mamas and daddies would drop their daughters off, and they'd say, my daughter has a lot of what? What do you think they said? Potential. Potential is an idea of kinetic energy that is stored until utilized, right? It is an idea of energy that is inside of you that has to be activated. So I would say to those mamas and daddies, thank you for bringing your daughter for me to coach her, because we have our own little greatness factory here. And we are manufacturing greatness. And we would put those young ladies into our system, and we would go to work on 4 parts that we're going to talk about tonight. We'd go to work on the body, which is critical. We'd go to work on the mind. We'd go to work on their heart. And we'd go to work on their spirit. And 4 years later, those young ladies that would come in with their head down, scared to talk to people, scared to interact, very little confidence, they would leave like stone cold killing machines. You follow what I'm saying? They were confident, and I said, when I'm done with your daughter will be ready to run for President of the United States if she wants to. Right? Now, when you came here tonight, notice it didn't say the complacency factory, or the lazy factory, or the average factory. It's called the greatness factory for a reason, right? And so when I built this facility and I started my coaching program, Monster Producer, we coach about 450 at any given time, 450 to 1,000 small business owners, sales professionals. A lot of Optavia people are in our coaching program, and we're coaching them in our coaching program as well. And we're coaching them in how to grow their business. Everybody see that? And now that I have been in Optavia for since November of last year, lost 30 pounds, in the best shape of my life. Now I have a deeper understanding of Optavia and what it can do for your life. My wife is handling the health division of our company, and so she is coaching a lot of people through Optavia that come into us. And first thing we say is, look, man, if you're going to get your business right, you got to get your business right. And if you came to me today and say I'm low on confidence, and I need confidence, the very first thing I'm going to say, there's a direct correlation between how you feel about your body and how much confidence you got. Yes or no? Yes. And if you're more confident, are you going to make more sales calls? Yes. Are you going to close more deals? Yes. Are you going to have more prosperity? Yes. It's all tied together because there's a direct correlation between how all this works. Okay? So for 4 years, I coached those high school girls, and we started building these little winners. I call it inner engineering. Inner engineering. What are we inner engineering? The 4 parts of their nature: their body, their mind, their heart, and their spirit. All 4 parts, okay, to get them to a higher frequency. And so around 25 years old, people were constantly asking me, what are you doing with those kids? What are you doing? Because they would come watching my teams play, and these little kids are all over the place and disciplined, and they played hard, and right? And they would say, what are you doing with those kids? And I said, I don't have time to explain it, so I started writing books about it. Because people always ask me, how did you transition over to this, doing this? So I wrote my first little book, Coaching. This is very important to what we're talking about tonight. How many of you think a good coach can change your life? How many of you think everybody on planet Earth needs a good coach in their life? Okay. So my first little book was called Changing Lives Through Coaching. Now, we don't sell that book because it wasn't very good. And when you write your first book, it's going to suck too, okay? Just let me let you in on a secret, okay? Doug spent a little bit more time on his book, on his first book than... Yeah, right, except for yours, baby. Of course. Of course. Now, but I was only 25 years old. My only excuse was I was only 25 years old and I didn't have a lot to say, okay? But I did start the process. I believe every person in this room should write a book. 81% of Americans say they should want to write a book. That's 200 million Americans. Why? If life's worth living, it's worth writing down. Well, I wrote a little book, but nobody bought it. But business people began to buy it. I wrote it for coaches, but business people bought it. And they started calling me and saying, hey, will you come over and speak to our people? And motivate. They kept saying the word this, will you motivate our people? The word motivate means to move. The word inspire means to breathe life into. A good coach inspires you to do what? Move. And move again. And move again. And move again. And move again. And when you want to quit, move again. And they won't let you quit. And move again, right? So I wrote that book and I started speaking all over the country to business people. And then they started saying, will you be our coach, right? Will you be our coach? And I remember speaking at Dell Computers, spoke for an hour. They said our people got a lot of good people and they got a lot of what? Potential. They got a lot of potential. How many of you think you got a lot of potential? Raise your hand. Idea of kinetic energy. How many of you know there's another gift for you that you haven't found yet? Yeah, don't matter where you're at, folks. I mean, I was speaking yesterday with 2 of the top people in the world. Sharon Lecter sold 42 million copies of that one book. They have more potential. You have more potential. Your kids have more potential. Your family members have more potential. But that potential has to be activated, typically by something, which is where the coach comes in. Okay? And a good coach helps you find and fill your missing structures. So I speak at Dell Computers. They come and they say, will you come back? I said, no, thank you. I'm coaching kids and I love kids. Love it. I have no intention of coaching adults. What I found out later is adults are just big kids. Right or wrong? And I speak and I'm like, I got to go. Got to go back to them kids. I love them kids, Jimbo. I love them kids. They said, are you sure? We want you to come back. And I said, no, I love the kids. I'm coaching kids. I'm in my 3rd year being a head coach. We're trying to win championships. And they said, okay. But here's your check for speaking to to speaking to our people. And I'm like, okay. So I opened up the check, and it was more in an hour than I made in a month. I was working 80 hours a week. And when I opened up that check and made more in an hour than I did in a month, you know what I said then? I said, surely somebody will come along and love them kids as much as I do. There'll be somebody love them kids like I do. So, right? Like I know it. But that's actually not how it worked out. I stayed 6 more years, won a championship. The school went on to win 7 more championships, and I retired at 31 years old to start coaching business people. Now, how does this play into what we're talking about tonight? Is that I always knew, being a coach, that there was a direct correlation between health and confidence. It's one of the reasons I wrote a book on confidence. How many of you at times in life have lost all of your confidence? I have. I've been clinically depressed. I was on antidepressants when I was 25 years old. Lost every bit of confidence I had because of one person. I put all of my faith and confidence in one person, and they let me down. Okay? And because of that, I decided that I would rebuild my confidence to where it was very, very strong. And so I wrote a book on confidence and how you can build it, how you can maintain it, how you can protect it. And for years, I would go to the gym. I've had personal trainers, and I would go work out at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I'd pay a bunch of money. And the trainers would always say to me, Doug, nutrition's important. Nutrition's important. Nutrition's important. And I'd work out, and maybe I'd get a little bit of muscle, but I never lost any weight. Does that make sense? Never. Never. When I look back on it, I've never lost, right? What they should have done, and I wish I would tell every trainer this in America, is they should have sat down and said, look, you cannot outwork a bad diet. That if you don't get your nutrition right, all of this won't work. Everybody see that? And they never said that to me. And I wish they would have said it to me. So in November of last year, I was speaking in Mexico at a real estate conference, me and my wife. And after I spoke, they all wanted to go out by the pool. Right? Everybody wanted to go out by the pool. I said, okay, great. I go out by the pool, and I knew Doug and Tia Wood for about, I don't know, maybe a year or 2 years at that point, right? And I knew about, Optavia and all those things. But something about, I went out there and said, I come in, I told my wife, I said, man, I don't feel good about my body. I need to be in better shape. I want to be at I call it my Floyd Mayweather weight, my fighting weight. And I said, I want to get down. I should be 160, 165. I want to feel good. I want to look good, right? All these people are looking at me like I'm a person of interest. And, man, I just don't feel good about my body. And I did something that Doug's going to talk about tonight. I made a decision. The word decide means to kill off. Everybody hear me say that? The word decide, when you make a decision, what are you killing off? What are you killing off when you make a decision? This is the audience participation part. I'm gravitating toward you. I don't know why. You look good. Something about you, Vincent. I'm gravitating towards you. Right? What do you think when you're killing off and making a decision? What are we killing off? The word decide means to kill off. Old mindset. Doubt. Fear. Fear is an emotion created by a belief that something's going to harm me in the future. That's all fear is. It is a negative emotion created by some belief that something or someone is going to harm me in the future. Where does that fear come from? Just break down the word. A belief that something. Where did that belief come from? Somewhere in your past. Confidence is the memory of success. Insecurity is a memory of fear. Everybody see that? So when I'm insecure, I'm remembering all the times I failed. When I'm confident, I'm remembering all the times I was successful. And confidence feeds confidence. So when you're making a decision, this is a decision I made. I called Doug Wood and I said, look, man, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want to go pro. Tired of being an amateur. I'm ready to leave my amateur desires behind. And there's no way I can be doing well over here. Success in one role of my life doesn't justify failure in another role of my life. Does that make sense? It's like being a good businessman but a lousy father. Or being a good father and a bad businessman. When you pick up one end of the stick, you pick up the other end of the stick. So I called Doug and I said, man, I'm ready to go pro. Tell me what I need to do. And I had to get to that point to pick up that phone to call Doug. Does that make sense? Sometimes you got to get to that point, folks. And I was at that point. So I made a decision. I killed off the option of failing. Everybody see that? I'm tired of messing around, folks. I'm 40-something years old. I ain't playing with my potential anymore. I'm not casual with my potential anymore. I'm going pro. And I called Doug, and I got on the program, and boom. About 4 or 5 days, I was feeling like $1 million. Really, I'm serious. I was in that phase, and man, I'm losing weight. I'm looking good, and right, and my confidence is just like small as my confidence is just boom. I'm just walking on clouds, man. My confidence. I'm like, come on, right. If I had hair like yours, man, my confidence would be on top of this roof. And so I made a decision, and I got on the plan, Optavia plan, and man, you just look at me today. I lost 30 pounds. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm 44 years old. I got more energy than I've ever had. I've got more confidence than I've ever had, right? And that's helping me in all areas of my life. So tonight we're going to kind of talk about how do you make a decision? How do you kill off something? Does that make sense? How does it tie to all of these things? Okay? Now, I'm going to show you a concept. We're just going to talk briefly. Then we're going to bring Doug and Tia Wood, and they're going to talk, and we're going to have a good night. It's going to be fun, right? You already having fun?
I'm having fun.
Okay? Now, the concept I want to share with you is intentional congruence. Okay? And then this is where my wife comes into the equation. Because I believe in a life where everything feeds everything. There's alignment. And what that looks like is it looks like this. I want you to look at 4 parts of your nature. There are 4 parts of your nature. Your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit. Each of these parts produce different needs, different intelligences, different capacities, different dimensions. Everybody with me? So you got the body, which represents physical quotient. You got the mind, which represents intellect quotient. You have the heart, which represents emotional quotient. And you got the spirit, which represents spiritual quotient. When you are out of alignment or not operating at a high frequency in one of those areas of your life is going to be out of balance. I believe spiritual intelligence drives all intelligences. Okay? So, for 7 years, and I wrote a book on this called The Accountable Church. For 7 years I went to church, sat on the top row, was there, but I wasn't there. You ever know what I'm talking about? I went, I dressed up, I showed up, I checked off the box, I was at church, right? Like the church at Sardis had a reputation of being alive, but it was dead. I was dead spiritually. Dead. Completely. Right? Checking a box. And I knew this ain't what I need to be doing, man. I need to get this right. And it was really Natalie's brother, who's a pastor in Chattanooga, Assembly of God Church. She said, let's go down. I'm like, I'm in a funk. You ever been in a funk before? Yes or no? Yes. I'm successful as a businessman. I'm moving. I'm shaking. I'm creating things. I'm writing books. I'm going all over the world. But I'm in a spiritual funk. And Natalie said, let's go down to my brother's church. And man, I remember fighting her, going, do we have to go to Chattanooga? Assemblies of God Church? Do we have to do this? Do we have to? Man, and I went down there, and we went to this church, and I cried like a baby. I bet there wasn't 70 people in there, and it was a throwdown. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't never worshiped like this. I'm crying. But man, I had a breakthrough. I had a breakdown to have a breakthrough. I was simultaneously reading the book, The Blessed Life. And I said, we're going back to Murfreesboro. We're going to find a church for us where we're alive. Okay? Now, I'm telling you this because when I called Doug, where was I off balance, Doug? Here. Right? When I was feeling the spiritual funk and I'm off balance, I'm out here. And then I wasn't clicking here. I was clicking over here, reading books and doing things, and the world saying he's doing big things in the world. Okay? So look at how you can be out of whack in one part of your nature. Does everybody see that? A high performance person that wants to do big things in the world has got to click, right, Daniel, on all 4 parts of their nature. When you meet people that are doing big things in the world, there's a congruence. Body, mind, heart, spirit. They're clicking on all cylinders. And when you're around, they're like, dang, what's going on with this dude? Something, they're operating up here. Right? Now, we were working out. My wife and I have taken an interest in a gym back here behind us called F45. F45 is the fastest growing franchise in the country. And so we work out in the mornings as a couple. Okay? And she works out 3 times harder than I do. Right? And here's the deal. We're in there working out. And I said, hey, we need to get some other people in here. Right? Because now we got an interest in this gym and get some more people in here. She said, oh, no. They're interested in maintaining. I said, maintaining? What joy is there in life in maintaining? Just holding on to what you got. Anybody wake up in the morning and say, hey, let's just go in there today and hold on to what we got? Right? You send your kids to school in the morning and say, hey, go to school today and just hold on to what you got, right? Don't get any better. Don't grow. And I started thinking about that word, maintaining. How many people in life move into a defensive posture where they're just maintaining? So I'm just holding on to what I got. Let me tell you something. There is no personal satisfaction in that, by the way. I've been running a business during this period for the last 6 months. It's been hard. But you don't ever see me come to work and say, let's just hold on to what we got, folks. We're going to figure out, it's going to be a fight. King David in the Bible had a mindset. It's going to be a fight, but dadgummit, we're going to win. That was the mindset. So when I was clicking over here, and I can always do better here, and I tell my wife I can always be a better husband. I can always be a better dad. That's an area we need work, right or wrong. I can always get better in those areas. You follow what I'm saying? Always. What good is it to have talent over here? How many of you know somebody that's real talented, but they don't have any drive, passion? This is passion. This is talent, skill, the body. This is mind. This is spirit, faith, belief, confidence. Right? So we believe, my wife and I, when we built our coaching program, in growing the whole person. The body, the mind, the heart, and the spirit. Right? And for years, we didn't have anything for the body. And this way of life, this Optavia way of life come in, and we said, hey, this needs to be our health dimension to our company. We need to offer this, the opportunity to get their health right. Right? Okay? Now don't blame me. When you get your health right, double your wealth. Fair enough? Don't come blaming me when you double your income when you get your health right. Right or wrong? These are 4 parts of your nature. And it's very easy for us to see how we need to feed all 4 parts. So when I made that decision, I decided I'm no longer going to live this way. I'm going pro. And I'm going pro in all 4 parts of my nature. I'm going to get my body right. I'm going to get my mind right. I'm going to get my heart right. And I'm going to get my spirit right. Everybody see that? Yeah. And I'm leaving my amateur desires behind. Okay? Now, I'm going to say one more thing. And then my wife is going to do a presentation for 3 hours. Just joking. Scares her to death. Now, when I say the word intentional congruence, here's really what I'm saying. First, we start with the whole person, getting everything clicking. Okay? Then I want to take intentional congruence to another level. It is where you find your voice in life and you are doing what you were called to do. You are in your vocation. And there's a difference between an occupation and a vocation. An occupation is that which occupies your time in which you receive a paycheck for. How many of y'all have ever worked in one of those before? Okay, I pumped gas. Remember about the old days when people pumped gas? I was the worst gas pumper in America. Somebody asked me to check the oil, and I checked the transmission fluid. Because I was raised by a single mom, and we didn't fix cars, and we didn't do those things, so I was terrible. I think I got fired from that job. Then I worked in a bank, got fired from that job. I was the only male teller amongst 15 women. And that was a long day every day, I'm just going to tell you. That was a long day every day. And finally my manager said, you ain't cut out for this business. And I said, thank God. Thank God that you fired me. Now here's the deal. And then I found my voice. And your voice is at the intersection of what you love doing, that's passion, and what you're talented at doing. I believe talent is God-given, not man-given. I can teach you skills, but I can't give you talent. Everybody with me? When Doug tells his story, for years he was in the furniture business. And that was probably an occupation to him. He was trying to put food on the table for him and his family. He's trying to make it work, but that wasn't his calling. Does that make sense? Now, there's a lot of debate out there about do we find our purpose and then we go do something big. I would actually tell you from coaching people for 28 years. Jack, you zone in on this? It's good. I don't want to miss it online. I don't believe many times you find your why. I believe your why finds you when you are in the pursuit of doing something. Does that make sense? Too many people wait to find their purpose and then they try to do something. I guarantee you when Doug started his business at TIA, they just did it. They took action. When in doubt, take an action. When in doubt, pick up the phone. When in doubt, have a meeting. When in doubt, call somebody. When in doubt, do something. And when you do something, it's like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I love doing this. So finding your voice is at an intersection of what I love to do, right, and what I'm good at doing. Everybody see that? So I got my body involved, my talent. I got my heart involved. I'm engaged. I got my mind involved. And here's the best part. I got my spirit involved because now I feel like this is what God called me to do. And when you're doing what you feel like you've been called to do, guess what you don't need? You don't need any external motivation. You don't need any psyching up. When you're tired, like I'm tired right now. I've been gone for 2 days. I've been in Dallas, Texas. I poured enormous amounts of energy into people. But when I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and what I'm called to do, guess what? All my tiredness goes away. That's good. All my fatigue goes away. It's like, it's on, baby. Let's do it. Game time. Everybody see that? I would tell you from coaching people for 28 years, 9 out of 10 people have not found their voice in life. They are merely going to jobs which occupy their time, in which they receive a paycheck, but the reason they're not going is because they haven't found their calling. There's no courses on this. I went to college for 9 years. Okay? Now, I wasn't that slow. A couple degrees in there. We didn't have one course on that. Yes or no? Y'all are like, dang, this dude's slow, man. How'd he write all them books? Now, here's my point. When you find your voice, no matter how old you are. I'm coaching 2 people right now, 74 years old. Here's what they said, Coach, I'm ready. I'm just getting warmed up. Can you get me to the next level? That's inspiring, yes or no? It's never too late to start, folks. To find your calling in life and find your voice in life, it's never too late to start. Now, what's happening inside our coaching program has been amazing because I'm seeing some of our top coaching clients come to me and go, I want to go pro in my health. Tell me about this plan that you're on. Tell me about this plan your wife's on. Tell me about this plan Eric and Heather White's on. Daniel Hodges is on and Angela Hodges. Tell me about the plan. That's right. Tell me about the plan. I said, hey, we'll tell you the plan. I'll show you exactly what we do. Exactly how we did it. The only thing you got to do is make a simple what? Backed up by effort. And it ain't a decision if you don't back it up by effort. And commitment, yes or no? Yes. You back it up with commitment, you're going to be good. So I want to thank you for coming because this is a start of something for you tonight. Some of you in the room have been looking for something. You've been looking for something for a long time. How many of you believe exposure to something can activate your drive? It's like I see something. Oh, I see something. Okay, I used to stay in these Clarion hotels. Where's Justin Myers at back there? One of the guys on my team, I used to stay in these Clarion hotels. Back when I was first started speaking, they'd trick you. They'd make the lobby look real nice. You go in that house, it's going to be nice. I'd speak somewhere, some little city, Florence, Alabama, somewhere, right? Some little city in the middle of nowhere, right? And I'd go in and speak. I'm like, oh, I'm at a nice hotel. They put me up at a nice hotel. Then I'd get in that room and I'd go, what They tricked me. Once you get exposed to a nice hotel room, you don't want to go back. Once you get exposed to a new way of living, you don't want to go back. John Maxwell said it best. The best way I know how to say it is that once you taste significance, success will never satisfy you. Once you go to the top of the mountain, man, you don't want to go back down and start over again. So I'm glad you're here. I want to let my wife say a few words about her vision for this, because what I'm seeing her do in her life is find her voice. Leading this health division, doing coaching with people. She handles all the hospitality for our retreats that we do. Like in our marriage, what we're trying to do is put her in her strength zone and me in my strength zone. Right? Let her do what she loves doing. What is she good at? What does she love doing? What was she meant to do? Let me do what I was meant to do. What I'm good at, what I love doing. You put those two things together and you got something powerful. The word power means or source for supplying energy. Everybody see that? We had a company come to us last year and said, we want your wife to coach our women, coach all of our women. And I'll pay you this much to do it. I said, she'll do it. She's in. Turn her mic on, Jack. And then I went home and I said, sweetie, I signed you up for a coaching assignment. You're going to be coaching all the women at this company.
Once again, you signed me up for something.
Turn her mic up a little bit, Jack. Go ahead, it's on.
I said, once again, you signed me up for something.
Yes.
That I didn't sign up for.
How many of you think it's okay to challenge your partner? How many of you think you need to challenge each other every now and then? Yes or no? Yes. How many think you need to create a little tension? Yes or no? Okay? Angela Hodges, you know anything about that? He's like, you got a full-time job with old Daniel right there, don't you? Now, here's my point. Here's my point. In our marriage, I push her. And you know why? Because I believe in her. And I will make her uncomfortable and put her into positions where I know she can do, whether she believes she can do it or not. You're going to write a book because you can do it. You're going to coach these folks because they need you. And I go back to what I said in the beginning. Our desire to help people has got to be greater than our desire to be comfortable. We've been called to help a lot of people. That's part of our marriage. That's part of our extraordinary life we're going to live together. And sometimes it ain't going to be easy. It ain't easy living an extraordinary life. It's called extraordinary because there's a little extra in there. Everybody with me? So y'all help me welcome my wife, Natalie Burke.
Thank you. So a part of the story that he did not share, the weekend or week that he decided to go pro in his health and call Doug, was the same week that I got pregnant.
Yeah, we made a lot of decisions that weekend.
We did. We made a lot of decisions.
We're going pro.
So while he is constantly losing weight, I'm constantly gaining weight. So I knew that just from seeing his experience with Optavia, that as soon as I had the baby, which was 12 weeks ago, that I wanted to start my own health journey. But we also started Monster Health back in March because we knew with everything going on right now that your health is your greatest asset. And so we started that division of the company and while I started my health journey. So I'm super excited that you guys are here tonight. And this division of the company is just how we do intentional congruence, how I'm involved in his business and how I'm passionate about health and wellness and how I bring that to his company and everyone in the coaching program. So thank you guys for being here.
Nice. Thank you, guys. All right, I'm going to bring up some folks that have been good friends for a while. And what they've been able to do in their career and life has really been inspiring. The word inspire means what? To breathe life into. You see other people, you get inspired. Prey drive is activated. P-R-E-Y-D-R-I-V-E. That's a drive, instinctual drive in you to see something, go get it. Everybody see that? Prey drive is activated. Once that prey drive is activated, it's on. Well, what I do, when I watch Doug and Tia Wood, and I see them living an extraordinary life, I met Doug at 10X, big conference I spoke at. I was fortunate enough to talk to him the very next day after I spoke at that conference. And to watch him write the book Church Boy to Millionaire, to go on the Massive Momentum Tour, and I've been all over the country like that. I'm like, man, this dude's going to go to X number of cities. This ain't going to be easy. You're going to drive around on that big camper. I'm like, Doug Wood done lost his mind. But I'm going to tell you something. We were asking him earlier, what's one of the best things you've done for your kids? Right? We grew up tough. I don't know about you, but I grew up tough. I had a mom, raised me tough. You don't leave the house without looking like somebody. You dress up, you show up, you grow up, you deliver. We don't whine, we don't complain, we don't make excuses, right or wrong. Our kids have it a lot easier than we had it. And I don't want them to be soft. I don't want my kids to be soft. I want them to be tough-minded because the world's tough. And so Doug said the best thing we did is take our kids out there on the road with us for X number of weeks and go from city to city and see what it's like to help people and sleep here and stay there and work a long day and get up in the morning and have to do it again, man. That's impressive. So the Massive Momentum Tour was big. But more importantly, I don't know if I've met anyone that has a true heart for people and is as good at connecting to people as Doug and Tia Wood. And I don't say that lightly because I've met some very, very anointed people in my life. Tim Story being one of those who I'm on tour with right now. He's one of the best in the world too. But these two people care about people. I've seen them in multiple settings. It's not a show. It's not to get something out of you. It's a true, genuine care to help you elevate all areas of your life. And that's why I really have a deep respect for them. There's a lot of people talk a good game, and then there's a few that actually back up a good game, okay? So I want to introduce Doug Wood and Tia Wood. I don't know if y'all can come up together, but come on up. I want to call them America's couple. Isn't that cool?
Oh.
America's
Come on
couple.
up.
I'll
God bless
take that.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
bet. Thanks, brother.
I need a little.
Thank you.
That's good, Coach. I needed that tonight. I wake up, Tia.
Tia's got a page full of notes right there.
I do, Coach. That was good.
Yeah.
I absorb better when I.
Yeah, no kidding. Gosh, it's Tia, this is what it's about. We were here at the Greatness Factory 3 summers ago.
Yeah,
a little bit different, huh?
A little bit different. We're a little bit different place.
I would say so. Speaking of the Massive Momentum Tour, we'll probably get into it at some point, but last year we had a crazy idea. And what happens when your prey drive goes down and you kind of sitting around, starting to live a little bit of a cush life, you got your health, you got your finances, you got a good marriage,
Yep.
You start sitting around a little too long and you need a challenge. And we're like, man, we want to go be with the people. So we bought a big RV.
And wrapped it.
And we wrapped it with Massive Momentum
With our
Tour.
pictures on it.
It was horrible.
It was awful.
It was awesome, but it was horrible. And
What
see,
did we
I had
do?
never spoken before outside of an Optavia, like a health convention. So, and we'll probably get into it. We're kind of going backwards here, but it feels like family tonight.
It does.
So Tia, the cool part about this is that we went off on this tour, and it was a whole thing around the whole United States. It was nuts. And I got up to Oregon, and we were a hot mess. We had events every single night. And what did I do? I had to call Coach.
You did.
Yeah. And I'm like, Coach, how do you do this? Because you always speaking. And he's like, oh, Doug, you've got a mixed audience. And we had the talk about a pure audience versus a mixed audience. And tonight's a pure audience because you didn't come here if you want to be average. You didn't come here if you just want to chill out. Everyone came here tonight, Tia, because they wanted more.
Yeah. And I'm looking out at the faces, and when I think about making the decision to come into this room tonight, you had to make your schedule like work, right? Some of you had to get childcare, some of you had to drive a long ways to get here, some of you flew here. But it's important. It's important that we gather like this and we make time like this to be awakened. If we don't, we're going to continue to live that status quo life. It's the people like this that do the uncomfortable that actually move the dial forward in their life.
Yeah, it sure is. I was thinking as Coach was talking about the Clarion Hotel. Is that it? The Clarion? First of all, I'm gonna out Tia a little bit, but it's all over Facebook. She just turned 40. Doesn't she look great? Smoking hot and 40.
Thank you, babe. Thank you.
And we also just celebrated our 20-year anniversary, all in the same year. And you know, 2020
We're
we had
slaying.
big plans, so we did it anyway. We didn't let COVID stop us, so we went after it. But what happened in us just a hair over 10 years ago is something got activated in us.
Yeah.
And what got activated in us for our 10-year anniversary, I literally, at the season we were in, and you want to talk about body, mind, heart, and spirit, there's a couple missing here. When you're lacking time and you're lacking finances, if these are in order, you have time and you have finances. We didn't have any. I would say our spirit was probably the healthiest 10 years ago for what it is. I mean, for what it was. And our heart was always pure. You know, you ever met someone that always wanted to give more, but you couldn't?
That was us.
That was us.
Yeah.
And that was us for a long time. I mean, our faith would always write checks. But for some reason, they didn't go through. They just wouldn't. I mean, but we'd be at church, and Tim Story would get up and probably give the offering, and yes.
Yes.
There ain't a lot going on here. But 10 years ago, I took her to the beach. We used to live in Oregon. I took her to the beach to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. We can get away for one night. And of all the nice hotels in town, I literally had to find the Groupon. And I was just like, I don't want to live like this anymore. There just comes a point to where you say enough is enough.
Yeah. Wow, that's a flashback, right? But in order to move forward, I mean, it's interesting. All of us come into the room, and that's a flashback, babe, to realize that we were in such a place of, we knew we wanted more, but we just didn't quite know how.
Right.
And it was, this whole journey started with us from literally someone living their life out loud on social media. And Facebook in 2009 was not what it is today.
Hey, we were fresh off of MySpace.
Yeah, we were still.
Come on, MySpacers, right?
I still had my MySpace
got me,
account
right?
and my Facebook account, and I, like you, like Coach Doug's, like, I'm gonna do this program. I'm like, great, babe, that's awesome. I am good. And I remember the day that you made the decision, like, I'm done being sick and tired, and that was about the same time of that 10-year anniversary.
Well,
So-
we had just got to, I'm going to come back to that. We had just got off a cruise. And y'all know you go on a cruise boat
We're a little
as
happy.
passengers and you get off as cargo, right? Y'all know that?
Yeah.
Anytime you go on a
You're
cruise.
like rolling off the ship.
Not if you go on a monster cruise. That's
Not-
the
no,
health cruise
no,
now.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
the floating health boat is what we're going to call the monster cruises from now on. But we went on that cruise as people, but just to get away from life. Just truly to get away from life. And I came home, and it was the same season. It was our 10-year anniversary. There we were, just large and in charge. Just living a big life, you know what I'm saying? Just big
Eating
life in
everything
all the
is a-
small areas. You
Lots
know?
of Red Robins.
Lots of Red Robins and buffets. And I came home, and it was just a season, and it was a bad season. It was a bad season where you start questioning your worth as a man. You know, I saw an unfortunate thing. I'm gonna go sideways here for a second, Tia. But I saw a quote the other day, and it said, anytime, it's pretty sad when you see Will Smith crying becoming a meme about truly the unhealth and the mental health of men in America. How many of you have saw a Will Smith meme of him crying? Okay, about 4 of us, okay. Never mind for everybody else. But you get thinking about that to where people start using a man crying, a well-known man that is very respected in America because him and his wife had a hard time, and him crying in an interview can turn into a meme that everybody puts little quotes with. You want to know what's going on inside? See, sometimes us men, we put on the show because we're told to. We were raised to get tough sometimes. And you know what? I reached a point in 10 years of my marriage, my 2 little girls were tiny, and I'm like, I don't want to live like this anymore. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm limping into church every single Sunday, every other Sunday, because I'd stay home the other ones, and I'd send T and the girls. I'm like, oh, no, I just need to play golf today. I was making up excuses just to escape from this life that I felt like I was trying to live in the footsteps of my father. Some people, I think, live in the identity of a degree. I lived in an identity of I'm supposed to do this because everyone told me I would be good at it. So I end up doing what I don't love, and I end up doing an occupation. But Tia, it didn't happen until literally, and you knew I was crazy when I saw my friend's picture on Facebook.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm going to go do this. And he had been following him, I think, for 4 weeks at this point. He was like the shrinking man. Like every week he was posting a picture and Doug would show me and I'd be like, okay. He's like, I'm going to coffee. I'm doing this. And I was resistant. I was like, good, you go do that. I remember him calling me and he said, please, babe, come down to the coffee shop. It was like a mile from our house. And I made a decision that day, not just to support my husband, because a lot of the reason why I showed up is because I love this man. And I believed in the dreams that we had, and I was sick. I was mad at the situation we were in. I mean, here I am working in women's ministry. I did not feel congruent. I was just showing up. I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, but I was not living my most abundant life. And I showed up that day, babe, and we made a decision to take personal responsibility for our health and say, we're going to draw the line in the sand. And our coach is like, are you ready for this? Like, he wasn't going to be a cheerleader. He was going to, hold our feet to the fire and keep us accountable to the structure. And so I really believe everything starts with a decision. And not even if you feel like you're worthy of it or that you can do it, it's just, do you want it? Yeah. That's the thing. Stop putting, are you worthy of it? Can I do it? Do you want it? And that's, when I went into that room that day for coffee, that's what I went into. I said, I want this. And that's what I could come to the table with. And I had to let my coach believe for me until I could believe for myself.
Doing something kind of is the most exhausting thing you will ever do. Some people call it half-assed, call it whatever you want. Doing something halfway is absolutely exhausting. When I found this program, I found Optavia, and we'll get into it, but the important thing is, the same program I shared with Coach, was that I realized I had kind of tried to lose weight. I had kind of tried to be the best father that I could. Yeah. Tried to be the best husband that I could, but I had some secrets. Kind of tried to be the best businessman, but I was always kind of working the deal to where I was making sure it was in my favor. Kind of trying to please everybody until literally Tia, you call it a throwdown, but I literally was just like, you know what?
Called a throwdown.
No, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I have to make a decision. And I think, some of you tonight, just for the record, I ain't going to be like having an altar call at the end, like, are you going to make a decision? All right. Although we might do that if we need to, huh, Coach? All right. Stand at the door. All right. No. Trust me, it ain't like that. But I do believe some people in here tonight are on the edge of making a major decision, and you just need to make a decision. Either or get off the pot. I don't know who that's for. I'm dead serious. Some of you, it might be in your marriage. Some people, it might be in your business. Some people, actually, it might be quitting on your occupation and time to step into your purpose. Start to step into that vocation like we did. Because I didn't know when I signed up for this little health program that, first of all, she was going to get a new husband. Speaking of husband, hey-o.
Yeah, hey-o,
right?
yeah. Every year you get better.
You know what? We do
like
our best,
fine wine.
right?
Yeah.
Like a fine wine. Ooh.
Yeah.
But it is, everything must start with a decision. I made a decision to get better, but I had no clue that in the middle of owning a furniture store, I had about 15 employees. We had 200,000+ in unsecured debt to you.
Yeah. A lease on a building.
A lease on a building that I still owed $1 million on. That was non-bankruptable, by the way. Anytime you sign a personal guarantee, don't do that if you can. It ain't bankruptable. But it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me because I had two choices. I could go jump off a cliff or I could fight my way out.
Yeah.
And I decided, and here's the only thing I could control. And this is why I'm so passionate about Optavia. I drove all around the country last year, sharing to 15,000 people about how to create momentum in their life. And we came all the way back home to saying, you know what? I believe Optavia is the only thing people can really do because the only thing some people can control is their health. We're working for somebody that controls our pay. They tell us when to show up, when to go home. Yep. What we can and can't say. Some people are working for people, you're controlled what you can and cannot post on Facebook. Like, seriously, what country do you live in? Right? It's control. It's under fear type style leadership, and you're told what to do. And the only thing I had and I could control was my body. Because I kept seeing this dumb thing on Facebook, these dumb healthy people. Seriously, they were dumb because when you're sitting there eating chicken wings and DQ blizzards,
you're just a little pissy.
You get pissed at healthy people. And then you know what you also think is that they're up to something. You think they're out to get you.
It's so easy for them. And they're out to get you.
Or it's so easy for them, or they probably have some little oil that they rub on their tummy and it makes it go down, right? I'm thinking, what are these people doing? Are they doing crack? Because the skeptic in you just raises, Tia.
Yeah. Yeah, and so one thing about this process that I have found is it started with a decision and then another decision after that and another decision after that to not quit on day 3, you know, when my body's detoxing, not quit on day 7 when I'm feeling amazing and I'm down 8 pounds and I hadn't felt that good in forever. It's like, wow, like I actually could lose this 40 pounds and I actually could keep it off. But one thing I have learned on this journey is it's a continual decision every day. Sometimes every hour, sometimes every 10 minutes, sometimes every minute that I have had to like learn that I have everything I need within me. I thought outside of me was, I think I let so long in my life everyone else's opinions control what I wanted. Like I knew what I wanted, but their opinions kept me shackled. And I called a throwdown and I decided that I was going to step into the process. Was it easy? Is it easy? Not all the days, but I just think when you begin to make a decision towards becoming a better you, towards literally becoming all that God put you on this earth to become, it's going to take continual decision to commit to yourself and become personally responsible, that no one else is responsible for that one life that you've been given to live on this planet. So that's been for me, it's a continual decision every day.
And we're going to speed through this because I'm actually going to go back here and I'll explain these 6 words here in a minute. If you were on the Massive Momentum Tour last year, we broke them down in detail. But part of making a decision is cutting old ties.
Yep.
When you decide to go all in, when you decide to go pro, there's no going back. You burn the ships. Literally, you guys heard that song by King and Country? Burn the ships, baby. You got to burn the ships behind you. And I've made many decisions where I've had to burn the ships. One of them was, when you start a health program, you go empty the outside freezer of ice cream. And then you know what? You start to have to confront, well, I paid money for this ice cream. I can't throw it away. So I need to give it to somebody I don't like, right? Right? You give them the calories, right? But no, it's like when you make a decision, you actually do things while you're in the conscious mind of making the decision. Yep. Some of you right now, forget health. Some of you are making decisions tonight that is going to drastically improve the quality of your life because you know that it's time. And some of you might even be going, Doug, you just said I need to make a decision and I've been holding off on making a decision. I know. It's hard. But when you make the decision, you cut old ties. You don't let things continue to creep back up. And sometimes you have to confront the complacency that says, well, I just bought that. You have to confront, you know what, I've said, the mindset that tells me, well, I've made a decision to lose weight before and I've gained it all back. No, you did something temporary. See, you do something temporary, you get temporary results. Tia, talk about things you have to confront.
Oh, this was a big one for me. I had to confront family members, very, very close friends, and really begin to set up, I went through a whole coaching program called Boundaries. I had to begin to set up the life and garden my area. And I consciously remember having to say no, I can't come. Family dinners and things like that for a season looked very different. Yeah, we can come, but I would bring what we were going to cook that night. I had to go through a season where I didn't talk to a couple of my siblings. For 6 months, my mom wouldn't even pick up my phone calls because she just didn't understand.
And just for the record, what Tia's talking about, we're not talking about health right now. When you make a decision to go pro, you are going to disrupt average status quo people.
And they don't understand. And that's
it's going to trip them out. Why you hanging out at Coach Bert's Greatness Factory? You get weird after you hang out with Coach Bert. Yeah, it's a good weird. It's like the people that I'm at Coach Bert's, those people are become your new normal.
Yeah.
Whatever new normal is, right? Say new normal one more time. Everyone's going to scream. But you when you start confronting status quo relationships, people in your life, you start to rub some people the wrong way and you realize that you're back to another decision. It's easier, Tia, to go back and, I don't want to make my family upset. I don't want to lose those friends.
Yeah, yeah. And in that process of confronting, it's not I can't be your friend anymore. It was just beginning to implement healthy boundaries. And that was hard. That was hard to not get to talk to my mom for six months. I was able to write letters during that time. I would send her gifts, and through that time, I grew as a person because I confronted childhood stuff because I decided I was not going to no longer let what people thought of me, even my own mother, hold me back from walking out freedom in my life. I wasn't going to keep carrying that sack around any longer. So when you begin to confront those limiting beliefs and things that somehow we picked up along the way, and it's holding us back from really going after those dreams that you have because you made the decision, but just because you made the decision, you have to confront those things that are going to hold you back from really going all out after it. So those are areas that I had to really confront for myself.
Yeah, and the others, and we'll save them for another time, as if there'll be another time. Or you know what, you can go check out the documentary. But once you decide, and you continue to decide, and you can recommit to that same decision, and you go back and you got to recommit to it, and then you continue to confront, you start getting into creation mode. When you're actually freed up to actually say, God, what do you have for me? Not what did my dad tell me I needed to do. Right. Not just because my grandpa was a pastor, do I need to be a pastor. Not just because every single family member before me has got a degree from. Doesn't mean, exactly, I like that. That's right. I'm hearing a good echo. But the point is actually you're able to go, you know what? What does this next season have for me? And when we got our body healthy, our spirit began to get cleared up.
Yeah, our spirit man and woman woke up. And I don't know if you heard early on that Doug said that that was probably the quadrant that we were the most healthy in, was our spiritual life. Like our faith and going to church and things like that was very regimented. It was a block in our life. But our health and our mind were creating so much drag. And when we got our health in order, it was like that law of attraction in a sense. Like we got our health in order, and all of a sudden divine connections from childhood began to come back into my life, that I was now helping them lose 100 pounds because of Facebook. And I mean, it was crazy when I stepped into taking personal responsibility for my health. I thought it was going to be my best friend, or I thought it was going to be my mom I was going to begin to start helping. And all of a sudden, because of that one post that I think I was down 20 pounds. And I was just reflecting on it the other day. I was down 20 pounds. I posted it. I was going on a date night with Doug. And I looked back and I saw several of my high school classmates commented on it. And one of them was a grade school friend that I went on to help to lose over 80 to 100 pounds. I remember back, this is 11 years ago. So what you get to begin to create in your life when you begin to say, I'm making this decision for myself. I'm going to confront some of the limiting beliefs and the lies. It's like some of the people in my life at the time didn't understand me, but that didn't matter because there were other people on the other side that were looking for that breakthrough and wanted it as well.
Yeah, so how we stumbled into coaching, and I say literally stumbled into what we do now, is this Doug and Tia, that was about a 270, 275 Doug there. I was hiding it well, behind the sunglasses. Tia. Either way, we lost 100 pounds together. I had not a clue, because my health coach said, Doug, are you serious about keeping your weight off? And I said, I'm dang serious. I'm scared of gaining this back. Even though I had the habits of health, even though I had the community, even though I had my coach, even though I had all of our Facebook support groups, are you dead serious? And you know what he challenged me to do? He challenged me to actually take action. He said, okay. He goes, I want you to go on Facebook tonight, and I want you to post about your health journey. I said, dude, I'm only down 20 pounds. He goes, post about it. He goes, you want to get free from something? Tell other people. You want to gain it all back, or you want to stay bound up? Tell nobody and figure it out on your own. He goes, how's that been working out for your whole life? And I'm like,
not so good.
Secrets don't win. So I took action. And what happened was, it was crazy, because yes, sure, here we are now. There's the kids. Whoops, there's the tour. Here we go. So what happened was, I had not a clue. All of us know 200 people. All of us. All of us know more than 200 people. Most of us have more than 200 Instagram followers. Most of us have more than 200 Facebook friends. That night, when I posted that I was down 20 pounds, I did not know that my inbox would come flooding in and say, Doug, what the heck are you doing? Or how? How much does it cost? How does it taste? how does it work? And you look at some of these people, and some of you are in the room tonight because of Eric Hunsberger.
Yep.
Others of you are in the room tonight because of Tiffany Howard. Others of you are in the room tonight because of Dan Valentine. Who else? Who else we got?
Summer.
We got Summer and Mike and Shane and all these different people. The Scarses. And what I didn't know is we knew more than 200 people, and everybody was looking for the same thing.
Yeah.
A solution of something that worked.
Yeah.
And about that time, Tia, you were over here coaching. And again, you got to go back to this Doug is, I'm with the in crowd. This Doug plays it safe, the in crowd. In debt, insecure. I'm in the in crowd here, okay? This Doug, Mr. Posting on Facebook Doug, this is a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
And here I've got my furniture business. I'm hating every minute of it. I'm working 70 hours a week, never been afraid of hard work. But it took 70 hours a week to try to make $100,000 a year, if it was a good year. Being a small business owner, hello, there's some tough seasons. And I didn't know that posting on Facebook and getting all these people asking me would open up a whole new world. And my coach was like, Doug, you want to be a health coach? I'm like, hell no. There is no hell with me. There's just no health. It's a hell no. And he's like, that accountability we were talking about? He goes, how are you going to ask how can you do something and not ask someone else to do it and you not stay compliant? I'm like, dude, you get me every time, man. And it wasn't he was trying to get me. He was setting up accountability for us is what he was doing.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we started keeping people an update on our journey. Tia, what happened from there? I don't even know. It got crazy the next couple of years.
Well, Doug, he had to go into he was getting text messages about furniture not getting delivered and pissy clients not.
Pissy customers.
He had to leave on Thanksgiving Day, and I'm getting text messages from all my clients rocking their health on Thanksgiving, and he's like, I want those text messages coming to me. And so, for a season, we were living our health out loud. We were, congruent in a sense of we were really making our health a priority. But I became the health coach because Calais had told Doug, you would be an amazing coach, which he is, right? He saw that greatness in Doug. That's what we get to do. We get to leave here tonight and go out. We're in the Greatness Factory. We get to go out and see the greatness in others. And he called that out in us. He called that out in me. And he said, Tia, you have all these people that are commenting on your stuff. And I was sending him all these referrals. He's like, why don't you coach them? I'm like, I have 2 little kids. I don't have the time. But I stepped into it because I had made a decision that I was never going to go back. I was never going to go back to that old mindset and those limiting beliefs. And I committed to the process. I committed to stepping into it. And Doug started seeing all those text messages. He started coaching some clients. And over the next 2 years, the evolution from, our furniture business, which was, you heard, the state of our furniture business, we were able to fight through and came out. We paid all the creditors off. We finished that lease. And in 2012, or was it 14? 12. He came full-time coaching with me. So from 2009 to 2012, I would say it was just such a season of just rolling up our sleeves, committing to the process, and committing to helping as many people as we could. We knew that's why we've been put on this earth, is to help people win in life. And first, someone saw that in us and began to help us win, and then the domino just keeps happening. So.
Yeah, and I feel compelled to say this to you because normally in talks like this I don't. But you know how I said you got to continue to confront your skepticism? I didn't know that she signed up for a coaching program. My coach told me I'd be a good coach, and I was like, yeah, talk to Tia, yeah, I'll kind of help her, good accountability, but it was such a fog. When you're just trying to survive and patch holes and use one credit card to pay the other's minimum, it's a blur. It's just a big foggy season. And I remember thinking, is he making any money at this? And how could he be making any money? And I didn't care until I went out to the mailbox and I got the mail, and it said, it was from Optavia, and it looked like a bill. And I'm
you're like, Tia.
Freaking gone it. What did she sign us up for? And I'm opening this thing, It's like, now what do they want from us? I've already been, paying $400 a month for this amazing meal plan that works. And I'm like, now what are they doing? And I opened it up, and it was a check for $742. And what's crazy is the week before, she had asked if she could send our daughter, who's actually here tonight, Amaya in the back, to a little preschool in Hillsboro, Oregon, a little Christian preschool we couldn't afford to put her in. Here we were business owners. We couldn't even pay the basics.
Yeah.
And I went in and showed it to her, and I said, if that goes through, you can put her in that school. And I had to then confront my skepticism. I'm like, wait a minute. What is this type of program? How can they pay you for doing that? And I had to confront the skepticism in me, thinking, is this too good to be true? How are they paying Tia for helping? And she's over here having fun, and I got pissed off customers. Everyone get those text messages? And I'm like, and so what happened was I started joining her, and I'm like, you know what, God, maybe you do have a different plan.
Yeah.
Why am I fighting you on why is my yes? Why is it so hard to leave and confront this identity and to actually step into truly my greatness? And the last 10 years has been a lot of fun?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. A lot of joy in the journey. Obviously, we've had resistance.
Yeah.
Because when you choose to live a life of not living in status quo, you are going to have resistance. When you leave this room tonight, you will have resistance. But you made a decision.
Yeah.
And you're surrounded. So tonight, when you go to bed, or tomorrow when you feel like throwing in the towel, you're going to remember everyone that was in this room last night. A month from now, you're going to remember everyone in this room. I'm seeing Ginger rocking her life and her health. And it's like, yes, that's why we keep showing up, right? That's why we keep showing up, because when we're home alone and we feel like no one else is doing this hard work, why should I be doing it? We remember about being at the Greatness Factory, and that we are in this together, that there are other people out there going after it, not living status quo. And I have in my Kick Fear in the Face mantra, a little booklet I created, I say, this is not a life, if you're looking for a life of ease, this is not probably the path you want to be on. But if you're looking for a life that really matters, that has significance behind it, welcome to this community, because that's really what tonight is about. It's welcoming you to living a life that really matters, that has significance, that 100 years from now, they're going to say, something happened, my grandpa, or my great-grandpa did something different. He got healthy. And then the chain reaction of what that's going to do for the future generations, it's huge. So never discount the little tiny decisions we make or the big decisions we make, because this is what's possible. Yeah. I didn't see this, you guys. These are all my friends. Some of them I didn't even know until Facebook. And I had 200 friends when I started coaching. And now I have almost 5,000.
But those 200 friends, when we started
11 years ago,
have led to, we've helped over 500,000 people on the program. Yeah, well,
yeah.
Thank you.
Collectively, yeah.
What I'm saying is we're all connected to somebody else. And if we just share a good thing with good people, that's how we're going to win. So speaking of good people, I'd love Daniel and Angela to come up and share a little bit about their transformation with Optavia and talk a little bit about the value of having a coach while in the program. Come on up.
I'll pass the baton.
So I'm going to go ahead and apologize. I'm terrified of speaking in front of people. I'm terrified of the microphone. But I don't know, maybe, Coach, this is my gift that I don't know about. But anyways, this is my husband, Daniel. We've been married 11 years next month. And for me, I'm just going to tell my story. Growing up, I've never really struggled with my weight. Really started about 3 years ago when my dad passed away unexpectedly. After he passed away, I just had the stress of taking care of my mom, and she had just lost her job of 30 years, so we're trying to, she'd come over and help us watch the kids. By the way, we have 4. We have 5-year-old twins, 13-year-old daughter, and a 22-year-old son, I think. So I'd have her come to the house, just pay her to help me with the kids. I work from home full time. So, just the stress of taking care of mom after dad passed away. Then the next year, my mother passed away, so I lost both of my parents within a year. 3 months later, I lost my last grandmother. So I was just torn, y'all. So what I turned to food. I'll just indulge in, I didn't care really at that time. Losing all my family, and, Daniel lost his brother, he lost his mother. It's been a hard time. So, I gained, probably 40 pounds. I was almost 200 pounds at that time. And I never really grew up also eating healthy. Mom and Dad never led us that way. It was just, pizza, burger, all unhealthy stuff. So I really wasn't grown up on that. But I think it was December when we started Optavia. We were both just worn down. I hated the way I looked. I hated the way I felt. I wasn't. When I looked at myself, I hated what the reflection in the mirror showed. So we would see Coach post on Facebook, and we saw Eric and Heather post.
I know what type of meth they were on, is like they said.
I'm scrolling, and I'm seeing that I'm backing up. I'm like, man, they look good. What are they doing? I've tried Weight Watchers. After the twins were born, I lost all the weight. I got down to a very good weight, but I used Phentermine. It's a temporary fix. I starved my body. I did it the wrong way. So I wanted something that was going to last. And Daniel mentioned the Optavia program. He had been talking to Eric about it, I think. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I see the pictures, but I just don't know much about it. So we made a decision. We said yes. We ordered our package, and we jumped on a Zoom with Doug and Tia, Eric and Heather, which are our coaches. And Daniel said, well, we're just going to go up and sign up for coaching. I'm just like, health coaching? We haven't even got our stuff yet. We don't know anything about this really. But I was just like, okay, whatever. So we started it, and the first week I had lost 5 pounds. And I know every one of you that are on this has done this before. That first time you weigh in, you step on the scale and you're like, what? And you jump off and you step on about 2 or 3 more times to make sure I'm seeing this right, So I'm like, 5 pounds, man, that's awesome. And then I just continually lost week by week. I'm like, this really works. So then we jump in our life book, and it has so much good information, y'all. This program is amazing. So February, Doug and Tia invite us out to Breakthrough Acres in Arizona for a retreat. We didn't still, very new at this. So we get there and we meet these amazing people, y'all. People poured into us. Like we were family. That motivated us. We went back to Memphis and we were like on fire. We're going to get us some clients. We're going to do this coaching thing together. So we signed up our first client, and still new at this. We're like, man, this is pretty cool. Just talking to different people. And I have to back up. Last year, Daniel asked me a question. We had started just working out together, and he challenged me, like Coach said. He challenged me.
We're actually reading y'all's book.
We were, every night, we would each read a chapter of Church Boy to Millionaire, go buy it, by Doug Wood. And we were having devotions, and Daniel said, I challenge you to do something. I was like, oh God, okay, what is it? He said, the center of who you are, what do you love to do? What makes your heart happy? And immediately, I didn't need to think about it. I was like, helping others. That is what I love to do. He said, then I want you to do it. So, of course, a friend of mine, I'd make them dinner. I just love helping people. I love using my past experiences to help people that are going through what I went through, which I've been divorced, losing my family, struggling with infertility for 5 years.
Dealing with me.
Dealing with the Daniel Hodges. I know somebody out there has one. So I use these past experiences to help others. So now I'm able to use my health story to help others that are struggling. So the most rewarding part of this is when I have one of my clients, my friends now, because we have built a relationship, call or text me and just pour out their heart, y'all. And I'm going to read you a message that I got not too long ago from one of my clients who is a friend from church. I know her, but we weren't very close friends. But she had been on program. She's a new mother. And let me find it. I had it. I'm sorry, y'all. Bear with me. But I read this, and it just brought me to tears. And at that moment, I knew that I was doing what God had wired me to do. She said, I'm going to leave their names out. She said, my husband told me that Daniel said he thought we could possibly be coaches. That made me smile, that he would even say something like that. You have no idea how appreciative I am for you guys helping us get into this. I was literally in a hopeless state where I thought I would be like this forever. I didn't want to live with myself anymore. God used you both to shine some light on me and my husband. There's people out there really struggling because they hate the way they look and they feel like there's no end in sight. And we were able to turn this around for her. Her and her beautiful family, her 3 kids, and her husband are both rocking this. And they will be watching tomorrow night from home. But I just encourage all of you, if you're on the line and you don't know what to do, you're unsure about this, there's always a way. You can reach out to Daniel and me, any of us, Coach, Doug, Tia, we'll help you find a way. You just have to be ready and willing and say yes.
That's great. I don't need the microphone. So, anyway. Okay, I'm sorry. Then I guess I'll use it. So now I'll be uncomfortable. Thanks a lot. So we didn't share tonight what we were going to talk about because we just share our hearts. I get to speak a lot more than she does. It's been a while. Actually, I did speak last Thursday at the Greatness Factory at the Lodge with Tim Story and Sharon Leckler, and I felt like I just totally messed a good opportunity up because I was rambling and wasn't prepared. And there's a reason why I'm saying this, because about a year ago, before we started Optavia and some other things were going on, my health journey started with me terribly breaking my foot. I'm a tree climber, so that's my own business. And from that situation, I gained about 80 pounds. So together, me and Angela have lost over, 100, 110 pounds in the last 7 or 8 months.
I've lost 30.
I wear this belt because, you're like, why is your belt crooked? It ain't crooked. It goes way over here. And last year at this time, that's where my belt was. Seriously, I was in 42s and I'm in 34s now, so I wear this belt crooked because I like it, right? But anyway, the reason why I share that is because what I share about last Thursday is because typically I'm pretty hard on myself. I expect a lot out of myself, just like Coach said. You go pro, you can always do better in your marriage, your health, with your family, everything. It's up to you. And so typically in a situation like that where I had a really good opportunity around some very big name people to speak, and I felt like I could have done it a whole lot better, I would have beat myself up and me and Eric talked about this. I've already talked to Coach, which is important because you hear a lot of coaching in there, right? I've reached out and have gotten coaches, Doug, Eric, all these different coaches. 4 years ago, I wouldn't have been open to any of it. So I don't need anybody, I'll say I climb trees for a living. There ain't nothing I can't do. No, I need coaching in all areas of my life is what I found out. So, but because I felt like that, and because of this program and how we get to talk to other people, Angela and I's relationship, not only through weight loss and helping other people, it has changed. Not that our relationship was bad. Yeah, we've gone through hell. She's dealt with a guy that's been addicted, that's a 2-time felon. I've been divorced. I watched my brother, who was 500 pounds, 5'4", die right in front of me because he couldn't breathe. My mother committed suicide. I spent 10 years of my life in and out of jail 13 different times. So I get to help a lot of people, but a lot of times I hold stuff in too. And what this has done for me and her is not only helped us in our health, our physical weight loss journey, but it's also helped us confront each other and be honest with each other. We can't put a price tag on that. Yeah, we get paid. We get paid to help other people, but it's like, I guess somebody said it, maybe it was just you. We get to help people and see their lives change, and we get paid for it. But, to be able to look my wife in the eye and say, hey, I'm struggling. She already knows it, She's my wife. She knows how I come home every day. She knows how I act every day. She knows when I'm hurting, when I'm not. We had that relationship. But being in an Optavia situation, which lines up with our other ministries, which I wrote that on there up there for a reason, and I did not share with you what I was going to say, and you mentioned this up here not even knowing that I was going to say that, so that's awesome. But anyway, it has opened the doors up for us to what we say on our shirts is confront the beast. Okay? There is a beast inside of you that wants to be great and go out and do things. There's also a beast inside of you that wants to hide, that searches for comfort, that searches for something else. That could be food, that could be drugs, that could be working harder, that could be whatever it is, right? And so when we're coaching people, it's not just about losing weight, it's about finding that why. Why do you want to lose weight? Why is it that you are eating this stuff? Why is it that you're making this decision? Why is it that you can't look your wife or your spouse or whoever else in the face and say, hey, I'm struggling. I'm dealing with this. I feel insecure. I feel unimportant. I feel unworthy. I feel like a loser, a failure, whatever it might be. Because we hide all that stuff in thinking it's going to protect us, but it's not. And the biggest thing about coaching and what we've been involved is it's unleashed a new level to our relationship, not only with each other, but with other people. And this is what we believe. I'm also part of a ministry called 180 Degrees Ministry, which is a Christ-centered addiction ministry. And the reason why I'm a part of that is because of my past, and we use our past to help other people, for our good and for God's glory. But we believe there's two key dynamics to all of life. We believe you are made for a person, but you are wired for a place. I don't believe we all have a different, now you don't have to agree with me, but I'm just sharing my heart. I don't believe that we all have different purposes in the world. I believe we all have one universal purpose because we are made by God in His image for God. And that purpose is to bring about glory and honor to God, right? But the place is how we go about doing that. That is how God has uniquely wired each of us to be different from different areas of life, different experiences in life, different struggles in life, whatever it might be. And we get this mixed up because we try to do stuff, we try to do enough to become something that we already are. You cannot do enough to become something when you're already there, right? And so it's a non-ending trap. And that's one of the biggest things that we see when people aren't trying to lose weight, man. Losing weight is a byproduct of what you truly believe on the inside of who you are. I didn't start gaining weight till I broke my foot, but I was eating bad. I was just climbing trees every day, burning 20,000 calories a day. You can eat 20 pizzas and do whatever you want to do, right? But when I broke my foot and was laid up for a year on pain medicine and everything else, I gained 80 pounds. Got to 280. I'm at 205. Well, I'm at 210 now. I've gained a little bit. We're going to get back on 5 and 1 and get this. I want to get this a little bit off right here, right? I ain't seen these ever. But that's what we find when we're coaching people, right? We get into that belief system. What do you truly believe about yourself? What do you believe about your health? What do you believe about your family? What goals are, and for us, man, the reason why and to give Coach Bert a plug, I joined Monster Producer 4 years ago. After 6 months, I signed up for the 25K level, meaning I'm spending $2,000 a month on coaching. And the same thing that my wife asked about how we're going to pay for what kind of conversation you think we had to have when I told her, hey, baby, we're spending more than our house note on some coaching, but hey, I believe in what you know what she told me? I believe in you. You just make sure you get that bill paid, right? But the whole reason for that is because God is moving our hearts away from, and if any of my customers are watching, I'm not going anywhere, don't freak out. But He's moving our hearts away from the tree and landscape business of 25 years into helping other people. I have a ministry through addiction that I help other people with. We are also helping people with Optavia in the same way, but now we have an alignment to where we're doing it together, intentional congruence. Okay? I absolutely stink at being on the computer. Okay? I hate my iPhone. Now, if somebody sat down and showed me how to do it, You know what I'm saying? But she's great at it, right? So we have different. I'm good at speaking. I think I'm pretty good at speaking, right? I'm comfortable with it, except for the microphone. I'm scared I'm going to throw it over and hit Doug or something, right? But we have different things in life that we are good at, right? And some things we aren't good at. But we're doing this together. And the whole reason is because we're wired for a person. We believe this is all. Does that mean we're perfect? Lord, no, man. We had to have a terrible conversation last week because I was confronting the beast with some stuff. In fact, this year has, not because of COVID, well, that's been part of it, but this year is probably, and I guess not the years we lost half of our family, but it's been one of the hardest years that we've ever dealt with. We've made twice as much money. We've got a lot of things going on, but God is shifting our heart away from what we've done, exactly where y'all are at, except I ain't got that belly light. But look. I got my own striped shirt belly right there. Same shirt on, look at it. Same shirt. I wish I could see the belt. But ain't that funny? I didn't even realize that was going to be on there. But anyway, God is tugging and moving our heart to a different avenue in life. And we truly believe that Optavia is one of those ways that we're going to be using in the future, not only to help other people, but to help ourselves financially as well. So I know I spoke way over, but I don't care. So we just really want, we'll be around to answer questions. I don't guess our information is up there, but we'll be more than happy to give you any information that we have with any of the stuff that we're doing. But I really want you, one thing, we would love to have you. We'd love to have you in anything that we do. But I really want you to go away tonight from what we shared, besides how it's been a breakthrough for us confronting the beast, right? It's like Doug said, there's some people in here, all of us need to make a decision about something tonight. It might be something extremely hard or it might be something extremely easy, but we all need to make a decision. But remember this, you are wired for you are made for a person. God made you just the way you are, in His image. But you are wired uniquely, differently, from all different, doesn't matter your color, doesn't matter your experiences, that's your story. And your story is important to somebody else. Doesn't have to be wild and crazy like mine, but it is unique, and somebody needs to hear it. Yeah. Do you have the courage enough to stand up and share your story to whatever avenue you need it? Okay?
Love it. Come on. Good word.
Well, I don't believe for a second you're nervous getting up here. I tell you what.
Oh, she's looking good.
Yeah, you are. And that's the value, because there's 4 things about our program, and I'll just tell you what it is. It's having a coach, and there's probably the best book out, literally one of the best books that's ever been written. It's for sale over here by Michael. Is everybody needs a coach in life,
yeah,
and especially in your health. I mean, think about it. If we're going to buy a house, what do we get? An agent, someone who knows what they're doing, right? I mean, could you do it on your own? Yeah, it'd be sloppy. You ever try to do one of those deals and cut out the realtors? Those things, Ginger, do those things go south real quick? They do. You need a professional.
Yeah.
Who uses a financial advisor? I do. How many of you realized a long time ago you got to give up on doing taxes online?
TurboTax?
TurboTax.
No.
It works until you're about, well, and if you're doing it when you shouldn't be doing it, you're like, oh crap, I'm getting screwed, right? You find a professional,
yeah,
right? If it's spiritual, what do we find? A pastor or a bishop?
Yeah.
Well, in health, it's like you got to have someone guiding you through through the program. T, I know you're going to set up Mr. Eric and Miss Heather.
Yeah. When you're on this path, I didn't think I would become a health coach, right? And what's powerful that you just shared is that your story has the ability to lock someone else's story. And I stand here today because someone boldly shared their story on Facebook. And you guys, if you'd see a picture of our coach, he was a very techie guy and quite very intellectual.
Is what she's saying is nerdy.
But he cared about us, and we had a connection from years prior that we were in a church plant team together. And little did we know that 10 years later that that, you know, that he would become our coach. And that's a little bit how Eric and Heather, when we originally met you guys at Intentionality Summit, when we had Coach Burt come out and speak to, I think we had 15,000 coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,500, not
Yes,
15,000.
1,500.
That's convention. There was 1,500 coaches, and we invited a coach to come out and talk about becoming a person of interest and literally living your health and life out loud. And that's when we met Mr. Eric and Miss Heather. Well, Doug had met you at 10X. But I would love for you guys just to come up and just share their own transformation. It's been a divine connection. Come on, Miss Heather, you're coming up. Just stand, be his sugar, be his beauty right beside him, and share your transformation story.
Hey guys, so I met Doug at 10X, but my story really started in 2000 here when I met Coach Burt. We were both coaching college basketball, or I was coaching college basketball, he was coaching high school basketball. And we met, and even then, he would call me over at his house on Sundays, and he'd say, I need you to watch these DVDs. And it was Stephen Covey doing the 7 Habits, right? 7 Habits. And he would go and leave to go to practice, and I would sit there, and I'd be like, I ain't watching this crap. I mean, but that's where we got to know each other. And then every Sunday, we would get together at the Logans on Broad Street then. And we would visioneer him doing this. And I used to tell him, at that time, we were focused on women's basketball, and I could see no way possible that he would ever do this. And he used to say, you're going to eventually work with me. Remember that, Coach? And the power of association is so real because 25 years later, I was in the Southeastern Conference at the top of my game. I was one of 12 people that did the job I did, and I did it really good. And I got fired. And the first person I called walking out of the athletic director's office was him. And I said, Coach, you're not going to believe. And he started cackling because he knew what happened. And he said, it's time, E. It's time. 4 years later, I'm making the most money I've ever made. And I'm living a life that I never would have dreamed of. And Heather and I are leveling up. We are. Now, here's how Doug and Tia play into it. I'm at 10X, Coach is speaking. 5 minutes after he starts, thousands of people attack me at the book table. Literally. And I'm selling books right and left, and I'm haggling with this little guy. We were talking about this last night over a $10 book. And I look over, and Doug's like, hey, big fella, I need to talk to you right now. And when I say big fella, I was big. And I ignored him at first, and he just wouldn't move. And finally, I went over there and talked to him, and I had no idea about the health coaching. And that's how we started. It's the power of association. And they've poured into us like crazy. Sorry. But Coach has too. And it's the power of those two men, and they're leveling our family up. Now, I get challenged every day in here. He's on my butt. When you say pit bull, when I walk in, he's on it. But I need it because I have 3 beautiful daughters and a wonderful wife, and we're trying to level up. And we are in the messiest of seasons you could ever imagine, and most of you have gone through that as you're building your businesses in health coaching or something else. And I want to celebrate what drew us to Optavia, because we were at Intentionality. We had no idea what it was you guys do. We're selling books, and we're just having conversations and loving on people, weren't we? And it overwhelmed us. And she looked at me and she said, I don't know what they're smoking, but I want it. And we really didn't know. In fact, you guys would never tell us. And I would peek in, and I'd been with Coach now at that point 2 or 3 years, so I had some understanding of business and groups and all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, what? I don't even know what they're talking about. And so after Intentionality, we sat in that church pastor's place, and I said, we're in. Like, I don't know what it costs. I don't know what we've got to do. Right? And Heather and I, it's changed our life. We've lost 125 pounds. We're operating at a level in life that, I mean, honestly, and now we're paying it forward. We're helping a small group of clients. We're growing a small business, and God's doing something in us. It's special. But what I would tell people about Optavia is the community. It's the number one aspect of it, without question. The weight loss comes, the habits of health. Dr. A is amazing. You know, the coaching and the food and all that kind of but it's the community, and that's what's changed us. We've, just like Daniel, we've been on a journey since we've been in the program. We have 3 teenage daughters, and we're trying to figure it out every day. And we're trying to have an unbelievable marriage, and we're trying to love on our clients, and we're just trying to do something. And there are times when we're really contending, and you guys know some of them. But we jump on a Zoom on a Monday night, right? Or a Wednesday night, or it seems like now it's every night, which is good. But we jump on a Zoom, and if you're in leadership and you're doing those, you can't imagine the impact you're having. Like, you really can't. And I want to encourage you to give it, because I know it can be redundant. I really have a heart for pastors and people that lead groups like Coach. What he's done over the last 5 months, he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't even know what Hall of Fame it needs to be, but he's in it. So I know, I watch him and how hard it is to lead thousands of people. I watch you guys pour into the tribe that you guys have built over 10 years, and it's amazing. So I'm really convicted about being not a consumer anymore, but a giver to a community. If I'm in a community, whether it's a faith-based, a church, a Optavia, a monster producer, like, you got to give, because these guys are pouring their hearts out to us, and so that's changed our mentality. But we thank you guys from the bottom of our heart for giving us a chance to speak. This is incredibly uncomfortable. So, babe, do you want to say anything? No? We love y'all. Thank you. Yeah.
Smile and look pretty.
Yeah.
Hey, as we wrap up here tonight, though, that's a massive step, Miss Heather.
It is.
Getting up here and smiling and looking
You
so
kicked some
pretty.
fear in the face.
We'll get words next time. But Tia, that is so. Number one is everybody gets a health coach with Optavia.
Yep.
Number two is our community. We have incredible Facebook groups, support groups. We have, obviously, you're going to start seeing a lot more get-togethers like this in active nights here at the Lodge and here at the Greatness Factory, but also we meet up a few different times a year, especially in Arizona. Who wants to be in Arizona in the winter, right? Because it is 80 and perfect in Arizona. And then, like Eric said, we got a Zoom, it seems like, every night if you want to tap into it.
Morning, night.
We love it.
Yeah.
Number three is we got this incredible Habits of Health system. It ain't here no more, but Coach talks about the mind.
Yeah.
Every good coach knows how important the mind is.
Yep.
Because Coach is over here teaching it. He didn't even know Dr. A had already written it for the body. And this, Tia, is a game changer for a lot of reasons. One is it gets the mind healthy. I lost 65 pounds in, 12, 13 weeks?
Yep.
But my mind hadn't caught up yet after years and years of bad habits. Mm-hmm. So the Habits of Health has been absolutely amazing.
And I would say this process of going, I didn't go to college, I'm a high school graduate. I have grown up over the last 11 years. Like, I feel like I've been immersed into this community and this culture, and literally Dr. A has been a hands-on mentor in my life. And this life book is really about you beginning to write your story, partnering with your future self, and bringing it into the now. Not something that's far out there that you think that you can't ever be, but actually it's written for you to ask you prompting questions to really begin to partner up with what you're going to create and the life you want to create. And this has been a game changer in us getting that healthy mind. We had the healthy spirit. We were getting the healthy body, but this mind has taken some time. And we want you to know we're on the course, we're on the journey with you, and you're not in it by yourself.
Yeah. So number three is we got the Habits of Health system. And last but not least is the easy to follow meal plan. And this is the great part. Basically, if you can eat, you're a great candidate for this program. Right? Raise your hand if you love to eat.
We all do.
Right? We all do. The problem is most of us do it 1 or 2 times a day and just do too much of it. So the only thing is we take what you're already good at and just teach you how to do it better and to break it up a little bit. So we have you eating 6 times a day, so there ain't a question about going hungry. First couple days are a little bit of an adjustment, but I got you eating every 2.5 to 3 hours, right? We take them to work with us, and they're in our desk, and they're just right there. They're in the car, they're in the glove box. We got meals on the go. We got to keep everybody eating and eating well, drinking an absolute ton of water, and you're only cooking one meal a day for yourself. Okay, or you can order it down at Bonefish too.
I just had steak and asparagus.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So you can then you're making one healthy meal a day for yourself. We're taking the thinking out of it. We want the hardest decision you make tonight or anytime someone decides to get healthy is, do I want to be healthy, yes or no?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, basically everything shows up to your doorstep in about 6 to 7 days. You are ready to get rocking and rolling because we got the Habits of Health system. Everybody needs a coach in life. You got the 4 weeks of meal plans. It's $415 a month. Basically, most people save money by going on plan because you stop ordering so many doggone scones at Starbucks.
And we stopped going to Red Robin 5 days a week.
And you stop eating a Bonefish and ordering all the mac and cheese and everything else. No, you can still eat there. But yeah, no, most people end up saving money because they don't realize how much they're swiping that little card every single day. And of course, combine that with our community. See, I think it's only appropriate because when we put the word out a few days ago that we were going to be here. We had a couple of really cool friends drive in.
Yeah.
And I think it'd only be appropriate to have them come up and share. And before they do, our story inspires somebody else's story. And really, Michael and Rachel, they're going to share next as we wrap up tonight. They're only here because I shared with somebody else, and they shared with somebody else. And then I think they shared with a few more people. And next thing you know, I meet these incredible people in our life. And all we did was sign up to become a health coach to stay accountable.
Yep.
We didn't know the financial blessing. I didn't know this was a real business. Number two is, I didn't know the people and the community that this would create. So do you want to say anything before we bring them up to close?
Well, this domino effect that happens when I get to watch Michael and Rachel literally just through social media mostly. And those bright lights in the world, that you got to just kind of pull in and keep them, make sure that they come into your news feed every day. Like Rachel's one of those girls for me. Like I make sure she comes into my news feed. Like she's like pinged, where you can follow them so that they're come up. And they're going to share their story with you because the Rachel you see today was not who she used to be. So I think that's the beautiful thing that happens when you step into this process is the transformation. And I've seen you transform before my eyes. And most importantly, just the light that you are in this world to so many people to give them hope. So come on up, friends.
Hey, guys. Okay. So I want to say, this has been amazing. Everything that has been shared. And what I want to ask you is, are you hungry for something different besides food? Because I was hungry for that for a long time. But are you hungry for more? And do you realize, and you probably don't, that there is something so amazing inside of you right now that can be awakened? And Michael and I drove here because these are our people, our tribe. They've talked about community. I needed community. I needed the health program. Michael and I lost 127 pounds combined. Me 80, him 47, whatever. My math, I don't know. But, so we needed all the areas of Optavia. We desperately needed finances. Not because he worked really hard, really, really hard. But it was never enough. To the point that we didn't even have hot water. We boiled water to bathe our children. And so here's the power of surrendering maybe that one thing that's holding you back. Ego, fear, scarcity, not wanting to be uncomfortable. For me, I surrendered the one thing that I just wouldn't give God, which was a food addiction. That's what it was for me. Food was my comfort. Food took the place of me not having to deal with trauma in my life, past things that left me undone. And I had no idea that for years I prayed for breakthrough, healing, financial blessing. I prayed for those things. Our also spirit person, that was good. That was decent, you know. And I just sit in amazement because all of this over the last 3 years that's taken place had to come from me surrendering the one thing I wouldn't give God, which was a food problem. And through that, I began to realize that I mattered because I didn't love myself. I began to realize that I had a story, just like each of you have a story. But here's the power in this room tonight. If you realize how powerful you are and you get to work and you start doing the heart work, you awaken other people to realize how powerful their story is and that they matter and that they don't have to stay undone. And also that we don't have to be perfect to do this thing, because I am a mess, okay? I've got a lot of squirrels over here, but I am a powerful person. I matter. And I wake up every day and I tell myself that. I matter. I'm important. I'm going to rewrite that legacy. My children will not go through what we've been through. And I literally picture myself and other people wrapped in chains. And God has broken those chains link by link off of my life and is still doing it today. None of it would have came about without this gift. Optavia is a gift. And let me tell you something. We have endless bags of keys. That's what this gift is. It's not 10. It's not 10,000. It's endless bags of opportunity for people to be awakened and walk in their purpose. Purpose, think about your verbiage too. I never talked about purpose, dreams, goals, grit, talent, hustle. Those weren't things that I ever thought of or spoke of. But Optavia has challenged me not to just be healthy in my body, but to grow as a person. That's why I'm here tonight, because I've heard him speak. And when Michael told me that Doug and Tia would be here and that this was Michael Burr, I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it, because I seek growth constantly. Leaders, true leaders, can be led. Leaders desire to be coached forever, because there's not an arrival point until I'm not here anymore. So it's special that you're here. You're here because it's a divine appointment between you and whatever that thing is that's keeping you back from next level. You can do it. You can do it. And it has not been easy. But my life before Optavia was freaking hard. And I would choose this hard any day, because I see the lives impacted. The single moms, Alicia, who has completely rewritten her life. That's why I get up every day. That's why I'm hungry, because I'm linking arms with other hungry people. When I say that we bring the light, that we're world changers and we make a difference, we do. And when you get around other people that do the same thing, it's powerful, powerful.
I can't touch that. I just want to say thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. Doug, I know we all go through funks, but just remember the words that you speak on your lives and stuff, they're not falling void. People are taking those in. Me personally, I mean, my biggest growth comes from listening to you, because you're real, and that's what I need. And I just thank you for being who you are to us.
And that's why you keep showing up.
Yeah, it is. And, we do understand that we probably left you with more questions than answers, but some of you might think we're a little weird. That's okay. You probably want some of our weirdness. I say it as humbly as I can. I traveled the entire United States last year for 3 months, and I came all the way back home to say I cannot help people to cover every single thing and the finances without Optavia. Optavia pays us extremely well. I stand here as nice as I can saying, Michael and Rachel, they're paid very well as Optavia health coaches, and you get paid for loving people. But the first step is making the decision, do I want to get healthy? Yeah. It's not a matter of will the weight fall off, it's going to fall off. And then people are going to be asking how.
Yeah.
And then, you know what, the fun just kind of keeps continuing. You can refer them to me or a coach, or you can decide to pay it forward yourself, right, Tia?
Yeah. My invitation is, if that doesn't, what you've heard from these other couples, which it's kind of powerful that it's couples tonight. That not is always the case. That just shows the domino effect of your living with the monster and, you know, the culture you guys have created, that it's created a domino effect of that safe, healthy culture. I mean, that blesses my heart. So when I hear stories like this, what you heard these 3 couples, it makes me keep getting up and showing up. Right now with Doug at what time in the morning do we have to get up? I have to get up at 5:20 though. To have my coffee. Yeah.
That's right.
I am not a morning person, but when you make a decision that you want to go to next level, you do, and you take the action steps. So I just want you to know you have everything you need within you. It's not outside of you. The power is within to make that decision. No one else can make that for you, but when you do, watch how the chains come shackling off of you, and I'm blown away by the life that has been created over the years, and grateful. And I stand here today just super grateful to get to come all the way here to Nashville and be in a group like this. Coach, thank you, and Natalie for creating a safe space like this. This is what it's about.
Yep.
Great. Thank you, guys. All right. I know talent when I see it. Girl, if you don't take that message all over the world, shame on you. You hear me? Y'all give her a hand. Was she not good? And you married up, just so you know. You ever heard that? You have married up. That's how I feel. Listen, I heard so many things tonight. When E was talking about, we're just trying to level up, man. We're just trying to figure it out. We're just trying to go to another level. We're just trying to take a step. I'm telling you. To see Doug and Tia where they were, selling used furniture years ago, to where they are today, it's amazing. Daniel Hodges and Angela where they were to where they are today. Eric and Heather, right? Like, I mean, I see you. Just showing up tonight's a big step, right? It ain't easy. So much easier to stay at home, man. Sit on the sidelines. So what I kept hearing over and over is that word decide, right? It's a simple decision. And that means to kill off something in your life. Just kill off something in your life that's been holding you back, okay? And tonight was supposed to be about inspiration, showing you the balance between health and wealth and how it, right? But it's such a bigger play. I like to joke when people ask me, how have you done it? And I'm a simple guy. I'm not complicated. If you made the eating plan complicated, I wouldn't do it. What I do is I go in there and I grab all my Optavia stuff and I put it in a little monster producer bag. And every 2.5 hours, I just reach in my bag and eat, right? And it's as simple as that, man. And if it wasn't that simple, I couldn't do it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to plan it out. I don't want to count calories. Like, that's not me. I want it to be so simple. I reach in the bag and every 2.5 hours, I eat something. That's it. And that's how easy it was. And I'm like, is this it? Yeah, that's it. And I'm like, well, this is good. This is something we can do, right? And about the 4th day, like I said, I started feeling. I started going like something's happening in my body, my mind. And one thing we don't talk about enough in this is when you get on the path to health and wellness, how old dreams started coming back to me. My desire to build greatness factory started coming back. Visions I had in my life started coming back to me. Big dreams. I'm not talking about little dreams. I'm talking about big dreams. And I'm like, where's this coming from? It's because my mind was clear. And I'd cut out a lot of the sugar and all the stuff that was bogging me down. It's like, man, I'm starting to have these dreams and visions that I hadn't had in years. And it was happening quick. And so I think, tonight was about going pro in your life. It's about making a decision to go pro in the body, in the mind, in the heart, and the spirit. And level up. Okay? Now remember what I told you. We ain't in the business of maintaining. Holding on to what you got. Playing not to lose in life guarantees losing, folks. I've been there. I know. So I want to encourage you. Maybe tonight, some of you, it's a step. Okay? It's a step. Now, I love my mama. You know, I'm a mama's boy. I know Natalie loves that, right? But I was raised by a single mom, and she was tough. And I joked with her as I got older. I said, now, you were right about almost everything. There was one thing you lied to me about. You told me that the first step was the hardest. And I don't think it's not just the first step's the hardest. It's step 2 and step 3 and step 4 and step 5. You understand what I'm saying? But literally this plan has been, it's easy. A lot of stuff we do every day is a lot harder than this. Trust me. So I want to thank you for sharing your evening with us. You didn't have to do this, and you did. Some of you are going to make a decision tonight. You're going to go home, you're going to talk about it. You're going to say, we're making a decision. We're going to go pro. As single, couples, whatever. We're going to go pro. And when you do, you get to a level, man, you can't even imagine. Things are going to happen in your life like you can't imagine. Right? And you're going to quit watching other people do big things, and you're going to start doing big things. And other people are going to want to know how you're doing them big things. Everybody with me here? So thank you for coming tonight. We believe in you. If you want to talk to any of us about anything, this, coaching, whatever, we're here to help you. We're here to serve you. And so thank you. Doug and Tia, thank you for coming all the way from Arizona. And yes, I will. I think I heard you say that we could move in with you in the winter in Arizona. Is that what I heard you say? Maybe you said it a little indirect. But I've been to Breakthrough Acres, and it's a nice place, real nice. And I believe there's some room for us, my family, to move on out there in the wintertime, okay? So thank you for coming. God bless you, and we look forward to seeing more of you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.